Well, hello, hello. I'm Beth English. I'm here with Sergio Gomez, and today we're going to talk about real talk about who you are. Now, Sergio, I just kind of am in a mood today where I want to talk about all of the things that I have been feeling over the last week, and that is I am a lot more powerful and purposeful than I ever really imagined. I just went through an experience recently that kind of refocused me into this place where I am feeling extremely powerful and confident in what I'm doing, the path I'm walking. And I just wanted to share what I've been feeling and how that relates to everyone that I know and how the message that I want to speak into people's lives. So are you ready for this today?
I love it, but I have no idea what is that going to be. But now you got me really, really excited about it, and that's kind of what's fun about our conversations that we don't like tell each other exactly. We just give the kind of like the title, and then we have those also moments of discovery here in the program as well. So super excited to hear that, and also for our friends to check it out.
Yeah, well, a lot of you know, if you've been watching these videos for a while, I work with people to help them overcome their blocks, live a purposeful life, connect to the meaningful life that they want to live, and give them a pathway to be able to get there. Well, I am my best teacher because I have experienced all of these things myself, which is why I love helping people to connect to what it is that they want to make their life exactly aligned with the visions that they have for themselves. And so I just recently went through an incredible experience. I traveled to Pennsylvania for a couple days and I was around all these incredible people. We were just feeling each other's vibe, feeling our power, feeling confident. And it really leveled me up into a place that has got me so excited for the next year. And so I just wanted to kind of touch down on a few things that I learned about how to tap into your most meaningful life.
I love it. I love it. I cannot wait to hear and start taking notes on that. And
Well,
sorry, that's really exciting, that you took the time to do that and now sharing it with us. That's pretty cool.
yeah, I am always searching for the visions. Like I have visions for my life. I see the path before
Mhm.
me and I answer the call. And so one of my first points today is that desire that's in you, that vision that you have. Because for many of you watching, I know that you have this. You know that you're living a life bigger than you could have imagined for yourself, maybe like 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And that's because you're probably answering the call. But sometimes it's not as clear as it needs to be for us to have the confidence that we need to take those steps forward. But even if it's a small, little desire, a small vision, that little seed that's planted, I think it's important that we learn to trust ourselves, trust that call that we're receiving, and then step forth into it and see how it unfolds. Now, we may not have all the answers. We probably won't have all the answers at the
Right.
beginning. That's why it takes that trust to believe in those next steps and then those next steps. So, for those of you who have a desire to create a life that is bigger than the one that you're currently living, that is full of the things that you only dream about every single day, I want you to know that that information is important, that it's given to you for a reason. And the more you trust that it is real, that it is a guiding you into the direction that your life is meant to go in, the sooner you're going to answer the call and the sooner you're going to step out and take action towards that calling on your life. But sometimes we get scared,
Mhm.
right? Sometimes we get that self doubt. I want you to know that's totally normal. You're totally normal because what it's telling you is that you care deeply about what it is that you're doing. You care deeply about the things that you have seen ahead of you, that you know that you want to walk towards, but sometimes we are blocked by doing that. And so all we can do in that moment is acknowledge those blocks, acknowledge that it's something we truly care about, and then acknowledge that we wouldn't have been given that information if we didn't have what it took to take those next steps forward. Now, it
Mhm.
may not look exactly like we're imagining in our head. Most of the time it's a lot better. And so if we can just zero in on the calling, on the guidance, and the trusting in ourselves, we will never ever be disappointed in listening to that.
Yeah,
Sergio.
I love that. I think that is super cool. And I think sometimes what happens too is because of the noise of life,
Mm-hmm.
the calling may be there, but sometimes we don't see it or we don't hear it. because of
Mhm.
all the external influences, all the noise that we go through. And I love it, when you're talking about this, because we can sense the passion on this. And maybe after you going through this process, you had time to remove yourself from your environment, put yourself in this place, also where the calling becomes clearer, right? And
Mhm.
it's not diffused by all the noise that we have on a daily basis, which I love that.
Mhm. Well, I love that you brought up the noise because we're going to experience that, no doubt.
Yeah.
And so the cure for that for me and for the people that I work with has always been a visualization practice. Okay, so
Mhm.
we have this call, we have this sort of sense like we know something is going on,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
don't really know what to do. Then it's time to start using your visualization practice to start really drawing in that calling, that guidance to give you more information. Now, that
Mhm.
may look like a meditation process, or maybe you doodle or you write or you do some stream of consciousness, like writing into a journal. But when you do that, when you start to visualize, it's going to become a lot clearer. And you're going to start to see more of that guidance, whether it's the next step, someone you need to talk to, or someone you need to ask for help from. These ideas and this clarity starts to come through us, but we have to actually sit with it in a way that's going to open ourselves up to receive even more of that guidance. And so we almost create a mental roadmap before we create a physical roadmap for us, or an action list or things that we need to do next in order to bring forth this guidance and this calling. And so visualization is such a big part of the process. And I think we underutilize it because we're not taking the time to necessarily give ourselves that space and that stillness to be able to get the clarity that we need. And so answer the call and then start visualizing on the call. And then we'll go into the next step. So, visualization, Sergio, do you use it? That's what I want to know.
Yes, of course, and something that I've been a practice of mine. I think I've shared it before. Like I love to get once a year I get a just a regular notepad, like the rules with the lines like you go to school with, and
Mm-hmm.
I just call it like Sergio version 5.0 or 6.0, and right now in 9.0, so I've been using it for I guess 9 years or so, and I like it because to me it's kind of like visualization, where throughout the year if I get ideas, I get something I don't want to forget. Sometimes it's a quote, sometimes something like I see a vision of something I want to do, so I go and I write it down there, so that when I come to this place, particularly end of the year, I can go back to my whole entire book and look and say, what did I miss? What visualization I had perhaps in March, and because life got busy and whatnot, I totally forgot about. So it kind of helps me
Mm-hmm.
to revive those ideas and those visuals, and then thinking, okay, now 2022, right? It's perfect time for me to, okay, as I'm gonna start a new book, or notebook, I should say, what needs to carry it on from one to the next, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, visualizing it, you have to imagine it. If we're now in our family, we're in the middle of making some big decisions for the next 2 years, so we are visualizing the future. We talk about it, and this is how it will look like if we do X, Y, and Z. This is how it will look like if we do X, Y, and Z. So it's so important, like you said before, actually creating the roadmap, having a mental picture of what is it that we're looking for. So for me, it helps me to write it down as I think about it, because a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
happen go through here, and that way the ones that I think are those goals have to be in
Mm-hmm.
my book, so that I can then take action upon those later on.
Yes, and one of the coolest things about this process is when you start to see the visions in your head manifest into the reality of your
Right.
life.
Hmm.
And you're like, wait a minute, I had this idea for this a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 10 years ago. And look, it's actually here today.
Right.
And what that does, I think, is give us a lot of confidence into believing that this visualization practice works, and that the calling of the work that we need to create or the actions that we need to take is actually real.
Hmm.
And we start to see this show up in our life, it starts to help us lean into it even more. But what I've noticed is that when we start to do that, things come up from our past that create blocks for us. Energy may feel depleted in this process because what we're doing is we're being called to a higher sense of ourself. And when
Hmm.
we do that, sometimes old parts of ourselves need to be cleared away. And so some advanced techniques beyond just visualization is making sure your energy is healthy within your body, that you're living in an openness that is able to receive more of the information that you need to know. And also, being able to step into your flow and understanding what it is you need to do every single day so that you're removing the resistance. You're feeling like you're moving forward effortlessly. There's things that we can do with our mind, body, and spirit to create that openness that we can step into it. And so there's so much more beyond just listening to the call and visualizing it. We actually have to create ourselves in a way that is almost like we're preparing ourselves as a vessel to be able to receive and do the work that we know that we need to do. But that's a great responsibility, which means we need to take care of ourselves. We need to make sure that we're sleeping and we're eating, we're doing all these things that are going to give us the best chance at creating that life that we desire the most. And so
Mhm.
these are things that I love to work on with my clients. And I'm just so excited that I feel this renewed sense of passion for it. Like I am able to even see my own path that much more clearly ahead of me. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be talking about these things. I know you can feel it in my
We
voice. And
can
then
feel the excitement, Beth. Yeah, you're just rolling today. It's great. I love it.
well, I'm telling you, sometimes you just get put in the exact right place that you're meant to be put in, and you
Yeah.
have the exact right experience that you're meant to have. But like, I wouldn't have had these experiences had I not listened to the call, trusted my intuition, and took those steps to support all of the guidance that I was being given to get this experience and then move on. Well, what's the next step? Because we're always constantly growing. It's just a matter of like, how well are we growing? And so I think when we start to listen to ourselves in a way that's going to give us that information we need to grow in the best way
Mhm.
and the way that we were designed and created for, then we start to experience this life full of peace and joy. And we get to experience love for ourselves and the work that we do in a whole new way.
Mhm. Oh, I love it. So the kind of like the three steps that, if we break it out, all everything that you said into the three main steps, what were they? Like, let's can we go through them really quickly?
Answer the call
Answer
because
the call.
it's that little nagging,
Click, click,
it
click.
nags at us. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Answer the call, use visualization, and then prepare yourself to be a vessel. So that means taking care of yourself, getting your energy right, and really opening yourself up to releasing old parts of you that are not going to serve this higher call that we feel that's on our
I
life.
love it. So it's like this, and like this, right?
That's right.
That's the vessel.
Oh yeah. And I'm going to be hosting or I'm going to be facilitating a kind of a small group cohort coming here in January
Super.
where if you want to work on these things with me, I would love to have you. And if you'd like more information about that, I'd be happy to send it your way. So just send me a DM and be happy to tell you what we're going to be doing in this cohort and how we're going to be using this passion and this renewed sense of vision to create the life of your dreams and give you that meaningfulness that you truly desire.
I love it. I think it's going to be really awesome. And thank you, Beth, for sharing it. That is pretty cool. It's so exciting to kind of like come back to this time of the year, and this is the perfect time for us to kind of plan to look ahead. And it's like the like when you put a seed on a plant, and the soil is nice and wet and moist. It's going to give great results. And I think this is the best time to do it.
That's right. Well, Sergio, I hope that this video was gave you a renewed sense of passion and vision for the
Absolutely.
things that you're doing. I know that as creators, sometimes it can feel really lonely, and we're all in this together. And that's why we make these videos for those of you
Right.
watching. So if you need a renewed sense of passion in your life, I'll be happy to give you a word. Just send me a message and I will send you something that I know will truly inspire you. So thank you
Super.
for watching today. And Sergio, I know our friends are going to want to find out how they can follow us and learn more about what we're doing. So, where can they find you playing online?
Yes, so you can find me at Play every day on Instagram at Sergio Gomez Art, TikTok, and everywhere else, Sergio Gomez Art, as you will find me. And if you want to see my artist website, which I normally don't share a whole lot, SergioGomezOnline.com. That's if you want to see my art. So I'll put that one out today.
Thank you. Your art is amazing. I loved your new series.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So I
Thank you
can't
so
wait to hear
much.
more about that. And if you guys want to follow me, I'm at Beth English on Facebook and Instagram and at bethenglish.com. And I would love to connect with you more. So send me a DM and I'll say, hey, I'll send you a little voice memo or a video or something a little extra special because
Excellent.
what's life without meaningfulness, you know?
Absolutely. Totally
Oh,
agree.
Well, thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much, Beth.
Okay, bye.
Bye.